Talking to the wall and it's been answering me. Oh darling, how I miss you. I'm just a mere shadow of my former selfishness. I crave the silhouette of your kiss, with only the blue light of the TV on, lip-reading threats and false alarms.
Hi Flosstube, this is Sara from the Windy City Stitchers, back for video number 3. Or not quite 3, because someone is not here with me. Janet's not here. Where is she? I don't know. But hopefully next time we'll all be able to get together again, or we'll be able to do a side-by-side video like a lot of people are doing, and I will have company. But rest assured, I won't be at a loss for words because I am very skilled at talking to myself. So here we go. Because it's been March the 5th since we filmed last time, and now it's April 30th. So I wanted to get one in before May, if possible, and just kind of try to keep doing one a month or so. But anyway, I have gotten worked on a lot of different things in the last month and a half, and so I want to show that stuff to keep track of what I'm doing. And Jenny Bean for the parlor, Adam and Eve, and I must have seen this on Instagram. I wasn't familiar with it at all before, but this one has 8 parts to it, and I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's really cool because it's all a very long, they're stacked, 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's like a really long vertical piece, which is cool. You never see anything like that, really. Probably not going to do all 8 parts. I think I'm going to do 3. But anyway, the first one, the one I couldn't resist the most, was the Adam and Eve. And so I started this since the last, I didn't even have this during the last video. So this is just stuff I've just worked on in the last month. And I did the top border, the text, the sun, some of the motifs on the left-hand side, and the bottom border, and started the grass, which is a little bit of a project. And I changed the colors maybe just slightly, nothing dramatically different. I want it to look like the original, but I just don't have all the right colors. And sometimes when I'm too impatient to wait for, ordering things, or I'm trying to save some money, I just use whatever I have and hope that it has the same feel as the original. So on this one I changed the wave border on the bottom. I just made it the shape of one that I've done before. I made the sun a little bit more solid. I made the rosebud more rosy. I used my favorite peacock blues on the peacock, and then as you can see I kind of screwed up and got the rose too close to the peacock, so I gotta move a stitch or something for that. And then the sky blue, I think the called for is more of a powder blue, which I don't have, and I think I tried to buy it and can't get it, or I can't remember what the issue was. But the only thing I have that's close to it is this blue, which I think is ocean, I don't know, I think it's a new color, and I love it because it's sort of like a robin's egg. But I just don't know if that's right for the sky. I think it might be a little too green. But I love it so much, I might use it anyway. Because the horse is kind of orange on the pattern, so it's not like, it's realistic. So, what do you think I should do? Anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I think this is such a cute series, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm going to just keep trucking. Oh, I can tell you what the color of that is. No, I can't, because I didn't put it back. This is what my project bag looks like. Do you remember, did you guys see Brenda and the Serial Starter this last episode? Where Laura goes to pick something up, or Brenda goes to pick up one of Laura's flosses, and she goes, "Oh, what is this?" And I know I wasn't the only one that was on the floor laughing about that because I saw other comments about it. But oh my God, was that funny. Damn, they're funny. I like those ladies. Okay, this one I had just started in early March. I wanted to do something for March. This is Blackbird's March of the Daffodils, and it's their series where for every month they have 3 different mini stocking designs. I put these on Instagram. This is the first one. It's like a clover leaf design. And then the pattern, they have, I think on a lot of them, they have the stitching kind of way away from where the seam, where the edge is. And I just repeated the pattern to fill out the whole entire width of it. And then I finished it with a cute little batik. Sorry, you can tell I haven't ironed it or anything yet. But in the meantime, I got my new sewing machine. My old sewing machine was broken after a long time of disuse and abuse. And so now I'm gonna, I might redo this because it's just whip stitched and it looks kind of janky. But anyway, so that's that one. And I really had fun stitching it because it was so fast. And then here's another one. And this one I really messed up the shape on, so I basically turned it into an elf foot, but you can tell I still have to fix that. But the stitching itself, the cross stitch, was really fun. I don't know why I had so much fun with this. But I used all Lucky, which is quite a bit of variegation, so it goes from a real bright yellowish green all the way through Kelly to mint. And again, with this one I just extended the design a little bit so that it would go all the way, you know, beyond the seam line, and so it would be completely like solid with stitching. And I'm pretty happy with that part. What I screwed up was the shape of the outline, so it's, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to do something. From Kathy Barrick and her daughter, Hello from Liz Matthews, were doing. They did a video, or I think it was a 2-part video, where they previewed all their designs. My wish list just from them is all of these things here. So I was crazy for what they were putting out. And then Kathy Barrick I knew from when I used to stitch before, and then I started following her on Instagram, and her jewelry is freaking amazing. And if I was taller and thinner, I would try to pull some of that stuff up. I mean, who knows? Maybe I still will. Right now, you know, I'm just going to stick to my basic silver ball earrings and vintage charm bracelets. But Kathy Barrick, man, I want to be styled by her when I grow up. Which, I'm 52, so I don't have much time. I gotta keep going. So anyway, I'm gonna bring it back. Okay, so I watched the market preview from them and fell in love with a bunch of stuff. And the tiniest thing that I love the most, that I had to get started with right away, is Marianne March, which was Kathy's design. And it even came with a little pattern for the roll-up thing. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is classic Civil War reproduction fabric, which is my wheelhouse. So the weird thing is, despite having about 20 tubs of this crap out in the garage, I don't think I have this one. And of course, it's got to be this one, because look how perfect it is. So once again, I fell in love with this, and I looked up a lot of the floss colors, and I had some, but I didn't have others. I tried to order them. Some of them were out of stock. And then I finally started seeing people put up their version of it. And again, I don't know where these colors are coming from because they don't seem to match what's on the pattern. But anyway, I fell in love with this, so I have to do this. I have to do this exact thing. It can't be different. Well, it is a little different. So I have this fabric scrap that I was like, okay, that's really close. It's really close to this picture that I fell in love with. I'm going to do that. And then I was like, I don't think I got enough big enough piece. I can't wait. I can't wait for something to come in the mail. I got to start right now. So then I was like, I'll do it over one. Oh my God. So then instead of adjusting to that and putting it in the center of my scrap, I put it up at the top of my scrap, which makes using it in a hoop a whole big pain in the ass. So that was dumb. But look how cute this is. Oh my God. I am totally obsessed with it. And, okay, so I still didn't get some of the colors right. Because when they're in, I don't know, when they're on the skein, you think it's a relatively light color. Not light enough. And when you do a full cross with one thread over one, and they're fairly compact, it makes it even a little bit darker, and so the ones that I am using are not quite light enough, but pretty close. I don't know. Here, you tell me. I think it's pretty close. But anyway, I am just totally obsessed with this thing. It's kind of weird because it's not really my color, but not really my color preference, whatever. But and also, not coincidentally probably, but Polly Kirby's floss colors and Marianne March's floss colors are definitely in the same vein, and not really what I usually do, but I'm loving both of these right now. This pattern by Barbara Anna Designs called Polly Kirby, and the year that's on here is 1817. I can't remember if that's part of the title or not. But I had to have it, and I had to have it now. And luckily, I found it online, a downloadable PDF from Creative Poppy, which I want to say might be Australian. I'm not really sure. But anyway, I got it immediately, which is awesome. But then I didn't have most of the thread colors. I had some, and then I ordered some, and then I waited for them to come. And then I ended up starting it on this linen, which I kind of have a love-hate relationship with. I was just trying to get it sort of in the warm gray area, which, I don't know, it could have been, again, I fell in love with this, not with what was necessarily what it was done on, the sample, or the called for, but the picture. It's got to match the picture. So I didn't quite get there, but it's pretty close. And I don't know why, but this linen has made me very angry. And then I'm kind of like, well, maybe it's okay. So I've got mixed feelings about it. But anyway, this is where I'm at so far. I got the top border done, started rounding the corner, got the first line of text done, and I'm not really following the pattern. You know, I'm approximating the pattern, let's put it that way. And then I did that little central motif and started on, I think I got the border, the cartouche done, and the interior of that is over one. And then started on the berry basket below that, and started on the angel to one side. So that's where I'm at with that. Polly Kirby, Barbara Anna Designs. And I've since found other things of hers that I know I'm going to be doing because she's got some really cute, designs. And one little quirky thing about that is that I think the called for is all DMC, and again, I had to order others, and I did order all of it. But then, when I had overdyed thread that was really close to the called for, I'm using some of that as well. So, like in that top border where it's really just two colors, those little baubles on top of the zigzag, I don't know if you can see this, but it's like a darker yellow outlining it and then a lighter yellow on the inside of the circle. And but on mine, I'm using about 6 colors across the top of that thing. 6 colors of yellow. So that'll just give you a sense of what you're dealing with here, what I'm dealing with, because it's very annoying because it makes things very much more complicated than they need to be, unnecessarily complicated, and not necessarily better. Yeah. So anyway, this one isn't particularly my colors. I mean, gold, yes, but it's got like a lot of plums. Actually, I'm wearing this shirt to match that. But generally, these teal and stuff is not really my color. But although you couldn't tell it from the way I'm dressed today and my glasses, but anyway, so coincidentally, Holly Kirby and Marianne March could be sisters in terms of their color palette. So I think I might let these be roommates in a bag until I'm done with them because they're sharing a lot of floss right now. They're sharing their clothes. And so far our fight hasn't broken out, so yeah, I think it's going pretty well. I started at the beginning of January, which was supposed to be a stitch-along with Brenda and the Serial Starter. But did either of them start this? No, they didn't. Hello, people. Because I actually have loved working on this totally. Oh my gosh, I really love working on it. And I think I kind of lucked out with the linen that I liked, and then I'm doing it in silk, which, you know, is just really rough. You know, somebody's got to do it. And in my case, this project, I'm using silk, and I'm enjoying it. It's really fun. And then last time I talked quite a bit about all the design changes I've made up to this point. And so anyway, what I've done in the last 5-6 weeks since we did the last video is I finished the border. So it's a strawberry border. The original is a strawberry border too, except it was traditional, and I adapted it. For good or bad, I don't know, but I changed it. And so I had been experimenting a lot with leaf design and different things, and so I ended up, you know, it's a little bit of a project, frogging all that stuff, but I got through it, and over a couple weeks' time, went back through and finished the border. So I'm very happy with the berries and the vine. I'm still not real happy with the leaves, but it is what it is at this point. So, and the floss color, I'll have to insert what the floss color was on both the leaves, and I think I've covered this before on the berries, but the green that I used for the vine and the leaf, I really love that as well, and I'd recommend that. So I'll try to insert that here. The other thing I did with this, I think the only other thing I did since the last time was I expanded on this I don't know if it's focusing or not, but the blue wave border that's going across there. On the original design, it's extremely muted. In fact, you can't even see it on the pattern, but it's over here, just a little. But anyway, I explained this last time, so I won't go into it, but suffice it to say, I had taken that little element out, and then I was like, oh, I want that back in there, so then I started doing it over one, and then I was like, oh my god, that's going to take forever, but once I got going on it, it actually wasn't that bad. I'm kind of enjoying it. So that's the other thing that I did with this. And then, let's see, I'm almost done. I think I'm probably 2/3 or 3/4 of the way done at this point, so pretty excited about that. And I've kind of fallen in love with this thing. But anyway, I mean, just look, it's yummy. I love it. So, Brenda and Laura, you guys suck, but thank you also for suggesting it, because I'm really enjoying it. Isabella Fox, 1827 by GGR Designs. Alright, so moving along in the Wood Parade, I don't think I've done anything with this one. This is the Quaker Family Register from Blackbird Designs, and it's inside a book called And Blossom as the Rose. And the little story with this one that I shared last time is that I'm adding some personal family history detail to this, because I think after I bought the book, which is a little odd, I found out that I actually did have some Quaker ancestors, actually quite a few. I kind of always thought all of our ancestors were more recent immigrants, but there's a line on my grandmother's mother's side, which we didn't know quite as much about because her mother died when they were all very young, but her mother's line is sort of my pet project in terms of research, genealogy research, and those people there's a lot of early Americans in that section of the family tree, so that's really been fun to look up. And then we were always convinced as kids that they were Native American, or, had Native American ancestry. And the deeper that I've gotten into researching that, the more I've become convinced that that's true. And then I'll turn another corner and I'll become convinced, no, I had it wrong all along. And then I'll turn another corner and I'll be like, oh no, they do have Native American ancestry. And then I get all excited about it again, and then I turn another corner, I'm like, no, I don't think they are, so it's just kind of like been an odyssey, but it's been enjoyable. So anyway, so I added, instead of the names of the meeting houses and I think the people that were in the original, I swapped them out with the meeting houses that my ancestors went to. So I have Hopewell, Opeckin Creek, Crooked Run. I mean, aren't those cool names? And then I have one ancestor in here, Mercy Lupton, and I put her date in there. And then I was just having trouble stitching over one on this linen because this is the original leeks. In retrospect now, I think maybe I just needed to have it a little tighter in the hoop or something. I don't know. I have better over one technique now, so I'm definitely going to keep trying. And then I also started adding Rebecca Moore, which is another ancestor, and some initials. And then ultimately what I want to do is frame it probably in this frame. This is a vintage frame that I don't know, I probably thrifted, I can't remember. And so I'm just changing kind of the orientation. Actually, I'm not sure. This is kind of dumb. I don't know why I didn't just do it this way. Maybe it's not wide enough. Okay, I can't remember what my thinking was. Hopefully I did think it through. But anyway, So the orientation of the pattern is horizontal, and this, I've been doing it so it's going to be portrait. So I just need to add some more motifs and get it kind of going the right way, but the plan is to frame it in this old frame. And I don't think this is a frame from the 1800s. I think it's probably 1920s. But, you know, it's like a tiger maple veneer, and it's a little banged up, but it's still way better than anything I could afford from a frame shop. I mean, in other words, I can't afford to buy it a cool looking frame shop, at least not for this project. So I'm probably going to use that frame, and I love the frame. A free chart design from the Be Well, hashtag Be Well and Stitch project that it's just been really cool. I can't remember who came up with the idea, but a lot of designers got together and just to kind of support the community, do something nice, give everybody a sense of camaraderie, whatever, I don't know, it's just been a nice thing. Everybody put out free charts, and coincidentally, I have this thing with my niece where we both love hedgehogs, and we, you know, give each other hedgehog memes on Facebook and joke around with it a lot and stuff, and so I wanted to make her something, I wanted to stitch her something with hedgehogs, and so I had previously found Madame Chantilly, well, actually I think it's Italian, but I had previously found her stuff and that she did a ton of stuff with hedgehogs. This chart came out in the Be Well and Stitch thing, and it's a hedgehog with her feet up in front of a stack of books with a little mug of hot cocoa, and I was like, oh my god, that's perfect. And it says in Italian, Io resto a casa. I don't know how to, I think that's close. And then on mine I just put stay at home. And I actually finished it, and I forgot to take a picture of it. But here's a picture of what it almost looked like. But in the end, I changed the vintage bead edging on it to some silk ribbon, which I have a piece of. It's my only evidence of what it ended up looking like. But I gave it to my niece, and I forgot to take a picture before I gave it to her. Damn it. But anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed stitching this. I enjoyed finishing it. I enjoyed giving it to her. And she's enjoying it now because it's so freaking cute. So thank you, Madame Chantilly, for this lovely, cute chart. So that's it for now. I can hear my guys coming in the front door. So I'm gonna sign off. But peace out. I hope everybody stays safe. I hope our government officials don't kill us out of excessive amounts of narcissism and hubris. And I'm very political. You're lucky. That's all you're getting, okay?
Alarms, there's a boy somewhere holding hands with himself, and a girl in a window on the Reaper bar. Whenever I put my foot in my mouth and you begin to doubt that it's you that I'm dreaming about, do I have to draw